Hey everybody, James Makes back at it again. Today we're going to start working on the Dodge Ram 1500 project. We're going to start up here underneath this wheel where we've got the broken bleed nipple. So that we're going to take care of that first, and then we're going to start working on some of the other pieces that needed to get replaced down here underneath the wheel. So first things first, we need to jack the car up and take this wheel off so that we can get some access. All right, now that the wheel's exposed, what we can see here, if we look at the back of the brake caliper where I actually sheared off the bleed screw, here is the bleed screw that's sheared off. So we're going to try to get that out of there without causing any damage to any of these things, get rid of some of this rust while we're in here, and get this out, replace the bleed screw, and then we're going to bleed the brakes. Okay, so to get started today, here's some tools that we're going to need to get in there. So we're going to start with a little bit of that PB blaster there. I've also got a die grinder with a stainless steel wire wheel on there, and an assortment of pliers, and also a grinder so that we can grind it flat as well. So we've already put some PB blaster on the screw, and now we're just waiting for that to kind of do its magic. So we're going to let that sit for just a minute and take off a little bit of the rust surrounding it. Some flat spots on here so we can actually get a little bit of purchase with some pliers. Alright, now that we've got some flat spots on there, let's see if we can grab this with the pliers and actually get it to turn. So sometimes when you get a really stuck bolt like this, what you need is a little bit of heat. But because there's some sensitive brake components and I don't want to catch fire to my brake hose right here, I'm going to wrap everything around it in aluminum foil just to prevent it catching any of that grease on fire or anything like that. Just gonna wrap that loosely. Let's see if we can heat some things up a little bit, shall we? Let's give that a try. Now we've heated some things up. Even after heat, this bleed nipple does not want to break loose. Let's give another application of heat. There's quite a lot of thermal mass to this brake caliper, so we got to heat it up for a while. All right, let's give that a shot. Okay. Get a little baby brake free. Junk. Let's use some vice grips. Looks like we finally broken this thing free. Had to go get my screw extractor and heated up a bunch of times and a lot of PB blaster. So finally, there she is. All right, Let's go get the new one. Okay, so now that we've finally gotten this nasty old bleed screw out of there, now we're going to clean this up and put a new one in. So first I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of brake parts cleaner. And then just a wire brush just to get down in there and just try to make sure that we got any loose crud out of there. And again, hit it with the brake parts cleaner. Just make sure it's all flushed out. And we'll hit it with a paper towel to make sure we've got everything. Alright, well, that's looking pretty good. So now let's see if we can get a new one in there. So I just picked up this variety pack from my local Pep Boys. I'm just going to make sure that we've got the right size in here, and then we'll tighten it down. Okay, so we found a screw in the assortment there that looked like the right size, so we're just going to put on a little bit of anti-seize here. Doesn't take much. Just give it that a nice even coating there. So we're just going to really gently thread that in by hand. And tighten it down with a 10mm socket. It doesn't need a whole lot of torque there. Just want to make sure it's good and snug. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's our bleed screw replaced. Now I just need to find somebody to help me out with bleeding the brakes.